And it is on the back of this that we want to have a discussion by way of showbiz. And it's been over a week since internet outages affected countries on the African continent. Now, this has largely blamed on damage of some submarine cables carrying high volumes of data to affected countries. Now, it's a week now and into the 5-week period that the National Communications Authority estimated within which the problem would likely be resolved. However, the showbiz industry is already bearing the brunt of this outage. And on this edition of Showbiz, culture journalist with myjoyonline.com, Kenneth Awachidakon, explores this issue as the network strengthens gradually to return to normalcy. Thanks so much, Kenneth, for your time here on the marketplace. Now, help me understand the impact this has had on the industry when you talk about showbiz.
So you would understand that specifically the digital space is one that has accelerated the development of showbiz. Basically, you'd find that a lot of, for instance, movies, music, there are so many forms of art that have now been migrated to digital platforms. So streaming is one example of some of these, development that will be greatly affected or have already been affected by the past week. If you are someone who loves to go on Netflix, for instance, or you love to get your music from Apple Music, you realize that due to these outages, it has really impacted people who get their experiences from those areas as well. And it's not even limited to the consumer experience, but also the people who are actually creating those content, the filmmakers, the producers, the directors who are behind the scenes, making sure that these creative forms are available to you, the consumer. So I have also lost so much within this 1-week period as well.
All right, so during this period, these challenging times, how are they coping? Is that to say that they had to put their programs or events on hold or what?
Those are very big impacts that many have had. For instance, when it comes to music, I have interacted with many artists and also filmmakers who have actually told me that because of this, they had timelines that they had to meet in terms of submitting certain, demos that they have or submitting raw files that they have to be uploaded for their fans or their audiences to receive at a certain point. This has been truncated, and they have been forced to shift their date in terms of deadlines. They've been forced to make, find very, unconventional ways of making those things happen. And largely for the past week, all they have had to do was to sit back and wait because the issue is, basically out of their hands. It's a global matter. And you heard Ken Asigbe mention that because of some rerouting that have been done, they are now able to, provide internet services to some people, which is gradually, rolling out. For instance, I've had my internet restored to some extent, and so I'm able to access some of these facilities. And so gradually, it is getting better. But for the 1-week period, it has been a difficult time for creatives in Ghana, especially.
And that should mean that a lot have gone down, money have gone down the drain.
Exactly. Some of the interactions, some of the meetings that have been going on, for instance, even when it comes to discussions or stakeholder discussions, or when it comes to the issue of investment, there are people who were in the middle of conversations into landing very huge deals when it comes to movies or music or any art form. But all of those conversations have to be truncated. And if you imagine that within that space, there's another person in a country where there's better internet who has the same offer that they are going to bring to these investors who are also at the table at the same time. For expediency purposes, this person will land that contract as against a creative who is in Ghana. And so the impact has been quite wide, and these are some of the specifics. And hopefully, as the internet gets restored gradually, some of these people will have the chance to get back what they lost as well. Some have also basically indicated that it is an opportunity to explore other avenues of accessing these facilities. For instance, we've heard the communication ministry say that they are in conversations with, for instance, Elon Musk's Starlink to ensure that we can have alternative sources of data services from, for instance, satellites, devices, amongst other things. And so these are some of the issues that are at hand as we speak.
Thank you very much, Kenneth Awachidakon, for your time.
And also, it's also an opportunity to go out there and touch some grass, make some friends.
I hear you, Kenneth. Hey, thank you so much, Kenneth.